Hey everybody, it's Kory. Thanks for joining me and Happy New Year. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the sideline strategy. What is the sideline strategy, you ask? Well, it's a term that I came up with to describe both buyers and sellers who are sitting on the sideline, not engaging in the real estate market here in North Idaho because it's unaffordable. They're waiting for affordability. By doing so, they're waiting for a couple things, either interest rates to come down, prices to come down. Some are waiting for an outright real estate collapse of the whole market. And I'm going to show you in this video why I don't think that is a good strategy. This video is going to be brought to you by our latest listing. We just put a house on the market in the Riverside Harbor Village. Homes in this village do not come available very often. Well, we have one, and you'll see a highlight of that home at the end of this video, so stand by for that. All right, let's talk about the sideline strategy. Again, most of you are probably in this category. You're on the sideline, you're just waiting for conditions to become favorable for you to buy in this market. A lot of us can't afford or don't want to pay those prices, so we're just going to sit on the sideline and wait for the conditions to come to us. Again, I'm going to make the hypothesis that you're waiting on something that's probably not going to happen. And to get to that point, we're going to look at the last couple years here in the North Idaho market and show you why that strategy is not working. First, we're going to look at the year 2024. So let's get into it. All right, so let me explain what it is that we're going to be looking at here. We're going to be looking at the entire year of 2024. So the stats that you see here are for the whole year. We're going to start with median price. Over here for the year 2024, the median price of a home was $524,000. That was up 1% over 2023. And if you look at these 3 years here, the price of a home has consistently stayed above $500,000. You're not seeing any drastic changes in the price of homes. If anything, they've come down just a little bit since 2022. And to give ourselves a perspective on what the median sales price is doing going all the way back to 2011, you can see here that prices peaked right around May 2022 at $580. And for the last 3 years, the prices have been in this general area, $500,000. Jumping over to new listings, these are the homes that actually came onto the market. So for the entire year, we saw 7,845 homes come onto the market here in North Idaho. And you can see that that was up 7.1% from 2023, which was down 5.5% from 2022. But what you can see is that we've been consistently in that 7,500 area. There's not been a surge of new listings coming onto the market. Historically, as far as new listings go, you can see right here we're at December at 7,845. New homes coming onto the market, since 2020 here, new homes just have been slow to come on the market relative to the most recent history. And they've just kind of been hovering right in this 7,000 to 8,000 area. Again, you've got to have a surge of new listings in order to increase your inventory. So let's go ahead and take a look at our total inventory. And you can see here the end of year homes for sale or total inventory. We ended up with 1,679 homes on the market on December 31st. And that was up 9.7% from the prior year, which was up 22.3% from 2022. And what we see from this graph is that inventory has been increasing year over year, but nothing drastic relative to the demand that bought that inventory up. And we'll see that in future slides. And what I want to show you is how our inventory is relative to recent history. Going all the way back to 2011, you can see that even though our inventory since 2021 has steadily increased, it's still relatively low compared to recent history, going all the way back to 2011, where we had, somewhere near 4,000 homes on the market. We're down to, not even half of that, even with the slight increase of inventory that we've had over the last 3 years. So jumping over to closed sales, what this will show you is that we ended the year up 9.4% more closed sales this year in 2024 compared to last year, with 4,713 homes sold for the year. And 2023, the amount of closed sales did dip down 13.2% from the all-time high of 2022. But what you should see here is that, remember, even though we had that slight increase of homes stacking up on inventory, we've also seen an increase of demand through the closed sales. And what you can see here on this graph, going back to median sales price, going back to the middle of 2022, you can see this steep increase in prices until about June of 2022. And then prices just kind of stalled, went up just a little bit, kind of dropped down a little bit. But since mid-2022, prices have stayed above that 500,000 mark, ebbed and flowed, and done nothing real drastic. So there you have it. That's 2024, right? What is 2024 telling those of us that are sitting on the sideline? The prices haven't come down like people on the sideline want. And I don't anticipate those dynamics changing. So let me explain. If you're on the sideline and you're waiting for interest rates to come down, we have a new administration, praise God, a new administration coming in that is bent, just committed to making sure that our economy benefits America. It's the America First agenda, drill baby drill, get the middle class humming, get the jobs that have been offshored, all that manufacturing, all those businesses that have moved outside of the United States, get them to come back and build their products here with American labor. To do that, President Trump is going to use the threat of tariffs to get that to happen. And he may, in fact, use tariffs. Tariffs are inflationary, you guys, especially at the first part. That gap in time to where the American businesses that have offshored all those American jobs bring them back, that takes time, and then they have to rebuild their infrastructure, their manufacturing plants. That's inflationary. They've got to build those up. So expecting interest rates to come down while inflation continues to stay high, it's not going to happen. The other thing to think about is going forward, you have to understand that the real estate market, everything that real estate entails, the jobs from mortgage, banking, real estate agents, construction workers, insurance, all the jobs that are around the real estate market, all the materials that go into building homes, all those things make up 20% of your gross domestic product for the United States. As a result, that's a big bubble. And if building homes and real estate is inflationary, that tends to make the economy inflationary. And let me explain. If you have an economy that's humming and you've got, like President Trump wants, the middle class is getting employed, jobs are coming back to the United States. When people are employed, they buy houses. When they buy houses, they buy stuff that goes in those houses. They buy product. That's inflationary. That keeps prices and the demand for those products up. It doesn't bring them down. So what you have is an inflationary, or at least a stabling of those prices to the upward trend over the next several years as that Trump economy gets going. And then add this to that theory. You just had hurricanes and flooding in the Southeast and the Midwest. The demand for product related to housing is going to increase the prices of housing materials and housing labor, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen in those areas that were ravished by the natural disasters. That's inflationary. That's going to cause the prices of materials to go up. So if you're on the sideline waiting for prices to come down, probably not going to happen. And because of that inflationary environment, interest rates are probably going to stay in that 6 to 7% rather than come down. If for some reason, and hear me out here, if for some reason interest rates go below 5%, what do the people on the sideline do? There's a lot more of them that are going to jump in the game. They're going to engage in the market, and they're going to create demand. And that demand is going to create higher prices. So bottom line is this. I would not bet that if you're on the sideline in the next year or two, that things are going to be different, and that interest rates are going to come down, and that inflation is going to come down. I think we can realistically say that inflation and interest rates are going to at least stay where they're at. Now, assuming that, Great, Kory. Thanks for crushing my dreams. I've been waiting for the market to come to me on the sidelines so that I can move to North Idaho. And you just crushed that dream. That's not my goal, you guys. I want to be honest with you. I want you to have realistic expectations. I don't want you to be waiting for something that may not happen. And I could be totally wrong, but let's just assume that you're on the sideline and you can't afford North Idaho. What do? That's where we come into play. Our job at the Martinelli Realty team, Bonnie and I are going to be extremely honest with you. So if you come to us and say, Kory, I've got $600,000 and I want 5 or more acres with a move-in ready house, we're going to look you in the eye and say, you can't afford it. You need at least $850,000 for what you just told me you want. Or you can move 2.5 hours away from the airport, the hospitals, all the things your family needs, and you can get that for $600,000. So our job is to help you calibrate what you can afford for your budget. So at $600,000, I can say you can find a really nice house in a really nice neighborhood, and I can show you 3 or 4 neighborhoods that'll knock your socks off. But you're going to have to compromise. You're not going to get that 5 acres, but you still get that conservative culture. You still get that low density around you. You still get that outdoor lifestyle where from that neighborhood that you're in, you can get on your side-by-side, go out your garage, and within 5 minutes you're in the woods. And I can show you those neighborhoods and show you what you can get for that $600,000 rather than crush your dreams. That is not our goal. Our goal is to be realistic, give you the information so that you can make those determinations on when, how, and if you're going to come off the sideline and engage in the game here in North Idaho. The other thing that we see people doing is they just say, my compromise is I'm going to forget about North Idaho altogether. I'm going to skip right over Idaho and I'm going to go to the southeast or the Midwest. But are you considering the fact that you're moving into an area that is higher likelihood of having natural disasters? And you go, yeah, okay, I can put up with a 100-year hurricane. That's not the case. Hurricanes can come and go at any time they want, but what's happening, and we're seeing it happening in Florida, is where you have those higher natural disasters, you have higher property insurance. And just ask anybody that lives in Florida, they're paying 3 times for their property insurance what somebody in Idaho is paying. And when you're paying several $100s to $1,000 more just on your property insurance per month, you may want to think about living back in North Idaho. So you got to think about those things. There's compromises that you make by going outside of North Idaho. And that's our job, is to get you to think, okay, is North Idaho for me? Can it still happen for us? And if so, where can it happen? And we can be that resource for you. You guys, there's a link in the description below on how to get a hold of us. I'd love to have that conversation with you, either through a phone consultation or a Zoom call. Just go to that link and we can set something up and have those honest conversations about what your budget can afford here and how to go about making that transition to come off the sideline if you are on the sideline. That's it for this part of the video. Coming up is that house I promised you that we just put on the market in Riverside Harbor. So let's take a look at that. Bye now.